Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Gloss Show. Thank you so much for the love and support you guys have been showing. If it's your first time here, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to comment and share this video once you're done watching it. And today, as we look in the world today, a lot of things have been taking place. And in today's conversation, we're going to focus more on Buffalo, New York, on the things that took place this past weekend. Some of you already know, some of you may not know, but we're going to discuss and I'll have my own input on some of the things that took place and how I felt about them. So, first thing first, the Somalian flag was taken down when it was raised in front of City Hall, and so many people were upset. I get it. So many people were upset about it. I went through Facebook, I went through Instagram. They were like, oh, that MAGA people took down the flag and so on. And, a lot of times I look at this country when I first came here, this country was united. A lot of people got along, people supported each other. Based on my own, personal observation, you may have came here the same time as me and seen something different. But based on what I saw personally, people were united. Now it doesn't feel like that. It feels like there's two sides or three sides of groups of people in this country. And that is ridiculous because what happens is then people start going against each other. You see violence, you see hate, you see racism, you see all these things that do not have a place in my world. Growing up, I've always been taught to love everyone, no matter where they're from, no matter their religion, their skin, the color of their skin, and so on. That's how I was taught. But what we're seeing is totally different. So the Somalian flag was taken down, and the mayor of Buffalo had something to say about it. So let's take a look.
Mali flag was hung on Niagara Square on July 1st. We hang flags on Niagara Square all throughout the year, all different nationalities, and somehow hanging a Somali flag is somehow bad for America. Someone came in, they vandalized the pole. The pole has an internal mechanism on it, and they cut the wire cables and they damaged it. So my big concern really is getting that flagpole back operational, because after all, it is part of the things we pride ourselves on in the city of Buffalo, and we just don't want the next group who is scheduled to have the flag raised be denied that because of the acts of irresponsible, un-American vandals. Well, different communities around Western New York are doing different things for July 4th. There's some communities that host parades and fireworks and some that don't. We haven't held a fireworks display in the city of Buffalo in a generation. Our DPW crew reports that the last time we did one was 1995. What came in? Threats against myself, threats against council members, threats against city property, threats against City Hall, bomb threats. So what does that mean? That means bomb dogs going through City Hall, increased protection for people. We invite people to come out and enjoy themselves and enjoy the 4th of July.
All right. You guys heard what he said. First thing first, I do not condone any type of violence. So if there was any threat, especially on our law enforcement agencies and City Hall and so many other places, if there was any threat, I do not condone that. All right. But there's few things that Mayor Sean Ryan did say that caught my attention. And one thing that I'll say is I did not hear him say anything in regards to bringing people together, finding solution. What is going on? Why my city is in shambles right now? Why some group of people are happy and some group is not? What's going on? I think that should be the real questions to ask. And those should be the real questions to kind of tackle down to find that solution. So when we take a look at that, him actually saying his main concern is fixing that flagpole. I get it. The flagpole has been used by so many different groups of people, raising their flags, and that's what makes this country so amazing. That is very, very welcoming. So many people are able to express their religion, their cultures and so many other things, and all those things are welcomed in the United States of America. But one thing that I kind of don't get is, instead of being so concerned about the flagpole, be more concerned about what's going on. Why these people were upset? Why did they come here to take down the flag? My personal observation is that I think the reason why that happened is because the American holiday did not seem to be celebrated. It did not seem to be very much important in the city of Buffalo. You know, July 4th parade being canceled. There have been other parades before that. And also, another thing is no fireworks, nothing. I did not hear anything in regards to July 4th in Buffalo. So many other places did their stuff, like Orchard Park, Lancaster, Depew, and all those other places. They celebrated, they did the fireworks and so on. People have fun. But in our city of Buffalo, that was not a thing, you know? And I think that's why most of those individuals were upset. And to the Somalian community, I get it. You're upset as well. But don't go out there and try to go against those individuals. At least see, okay, why are they against us? What's going on? What can we do as the Somalian community to kind of like play a part and bring everybody together? I think that is one thing that we're all missing, you know? I know so many of you may comment and say, oh, you know, it's very tough. You know, people will never come together because they all have different political views. So they will never come together. And that's the problem. That's the problem. What made this country so great is that so many different ideas came together to build this country. And I will always be so thankful that I'm here, because that idea also came into play to allowing immigrants to come from other parts of the world to settle in all these states in the United States. All right. So that was not the only problem that took place here in the city of Buffalo. Another thing that happened was shootings. There was a lot of shootouts in the city of Buffalo. And those shootouts took place in the east side and other places here in Buffalo. But this is what Mayor Sean Ryan had to say about that. Let's take a watch.
Finally happened.
It's absolutely distressing.
For the first time since all that violence on July 4th, we're finally hearing from Buffalo Mayor Sean Ryan.
Don't think this was the city of Buffalo youth. This was youth from all over Erie County. There was Ubers dropping people off. There were people from the suburbs dropping off children, adults. This is...
All right, that's ridiculous. I think as a leader, you should not be deflecting on different group of people. I think you should try to understand why those youth of Buffalo had that problem on that day. In most cases, I've always spoken up for the youth, is that the youth do not have anything to do. They do not have jobs, summer jobs. They do not have community centers to go to. They do not have anything. So a lot of the times, they're going to do things that's going to break the law because they have nothing else to do but to break the law. And if anyone took an Uber, so they took an Uber to go to a shootout. Is that what you're saying? If anyone took an Uber to go to that place, and if anyone was dropped off, to go to that place, why was that a thing? Like, this is why in my last video, I said there should be law enforcement officers in that case. If there are going to be any community events, police should be involved. That way, everybody feels a little bit safer. Because there's always going to be those people who are going to break the law because they understand, the city do not care about this event. Therefore, we're going to do what we have to do. We're going to go there. If we find somebody that we're beefing with, we're going to fight them. There's no police around. There's nobody around. So therefore, I'm going to break the law.
Young adults, this is not a thing. And also don't think of this as a young person's event. You know, the people who are involved in these shootings range from 13 to 51 years old. But if you want to hold a street festival in the city of Buffalo, you get a permit.
11 people shot in the city of Buffalo. The youngest victim here, 13 years old.
My heart goes out to the people who live on those blocks. We canvassed those blocks before. We let them know there might be potential trouble. But that meant families who had planned barbecues could not do the barbecue because people were illegally parking all over the street.
Surveillance video actually shows all of the chaos happening outside one of these stores in the area as people were mulling around, trying to figure out what to do, how to get out of there, police trying to get them out, cordoning off the area.
Need to talk to parents about where their kids are going with their cars on 4th of July to get the message out that these are impermissible gatherings. They're not sanctioned at all by the government. They're bad for the neighborhoods they're being hosted in.
So what's your solution to stopping the violence in the city of Buffalo and beyond?
I think my solution to stopping the violence and what's going on in the city of Buffalo is that there should be a lot of things for the youth to do that's more positive. There should be community centers. I'll continue to mention that. There should be events that brings people together where there will be some type of security measures. You know, I know he mentioned that, you know, some of those events were taking place without any type of permit. And I get it. People are going to do things on their own if the city does not provide them the resources or the spaces to do events that they want to do. You know, so therefore people are going to try to do things at, you know, in their neighborhood. They're going to have block parties and all these other things taking place. So we must look at those problems to fix. So if you are watching this, what question do you have for me? What question do you have for the city of Buffalo? What do you think? This is my question to you as well. What do you think should be the solution to helping build this city of Buffalo into a sustainable city that people will feel more comfortable coming to? Because a lot of people have been moving out. And one of the reasons is because violence and just, it's just a lot has been going on. But yeah, that's all I had to say for today's video. Appreciate all the love and support you guys have been showing. If it's your first time here, like I said, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And until next time, peace.